Welcome to episode 5 of the Exiled Outcast. Of course, I am your host, the House of Chain, joined as always every single week. Even though he has a different name every week, but we'll go with that. Mr. Donnie Darko, aka Dan.
What's going
Thinks
on?
he's Jake Gyllenhaal right here.
You know, we had a long fucking couple days, haven't we?
Yeah, we did.
And we so timeline wise, when y'all are listening to this, it will be Sunday when we had that little fucking get together yesterday. But we were supposed to do this yesterday. Off topic, watching the intro this time, man, it's gonna be nice when we update that shit.
Oh yes, it will be.
Really, you know what? I'm really happy with. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. We got stuff planned.
Yeah, we have some stuff.
So yeah, we're here to talk about cancel culture, correct?
Yes.
Which, like I said, it was a part 2 of what we talked about last week, and we hoped that people would fucking, get an idea from what we're talking about, and then all this stuff happened that week and nothing, so we had that conversation. But in the grand scheme of things, cancel culture has become part of culture itself, right? Like that Dylan Mulvaney dude who fucking was in Bud Light, and now look at their shit. I mean, fuck.
Hey, so Kid Rock, I first heard about it actually because of Kid Rock, because he made a video where he took I don't know if it's an AR-15 and shot up a bunch of Bud Light, where he's like, Grandpa's feeling a little frisky or feisty today or something.
Fucking, I'm pissed off because I actually used to like Bud Light, but now it's like if I go to reach in there and get a case of Bud Light, everybody kind of looks at me and I'm like, no, I'm getting Shiner.
And I was never a Budweiser guy. I had Budweiser when I was like, first time I ever had Budweiser, I was like 16. It was found my grandfather's stash, and I thought it was the most disgusting thing ever. So I think I've probably drank it a few times, but I've always been a Bud Light person. Plus, to be quite honest, I'm not really a beer person. I'm more of a whiskey person.
I like whiskey, and I like a nice gin and tonic. I'm a civilized some bitch, right? So
yeah.
But I drink beer. Like, that's my thing. I've always drank beer. Like when I was younger, the first thing I ever drank was a Bud Ice. I mean,
oh yes.
I just and for like literally 20 years of Budweiser, 20, 30, 40, how many years of Budweiser down to tubes in fucking less than 3 months? Wow. I mean, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's like how things can happen. Like even recently, like with the Jonathan Majors situation. For those of you who do not know, Jonathan Majors, he was kind of on a hot streak recently. He was in this movie called Devotion. He was in, of course, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Quantumania. He's supposed to be Kang for the remainder of the MCU. And he also was in Creed 3, which I still need to check out. But he was basically on fire recently, and then he got arrested for charging for like domestic violence, strangulation, all that, and he's been getting fucking dropped by left, right, and center, and basically on the way to being canceled. I think people are going are waiting, but it's like he's being dropped left, right, and center. It's like they're preparing to cancel him because, it brings a very major predicament for Marvel of what they do, because
fuck Marvel and fuck him. He's a piece of shit. He deserved to be fucking canceled. You don't fucking choke your wife. What the fuck?
Agreed. But also I go by the idea of, and this goes into cancel culture, like with the court of public opinion, I'm always of the firm belief of innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. But see, okay, we have to go back. We have to go back to the fucking Me Too movement, which started a bunch of bullshit. And look, it was a good premise, right? It was a good idea. But then you fucking go so far, and like the queen of the Me Too movement, fucking Amber Heard, put an innocent man who people will say you resemble him, but put an innocent man like Johnny Depp in a fucking situation where he said, and he was fucking fabulous, right? If you watch that court case, he was amazing. Like, he made her look so fucking stupid. If you notice, he would wear something and she would try to copy it the next time they would go to court, because she's fucked in the head. And when you put people like that at the head of these situations, all you're doing is making this fucking platform of cancel culture, of canceling horrible people in the wrong going down the wrong fucking road. Look what happened. Now nobody can take anybody seriously because of her stupid ass.
Yeah, and with that, it's like, I remember watching it because I from day one I was pro Johnny Depp, even before like even when the other people were kind of turned the tide with him, because I said she is like the only person, because usually especially with the Me Too, usually it's one person starts and then 85 other women come forward. I didn't see that with Depp, and so I was like, okay, let's wait and see what happens, and then I said my favorite part was, I guess, I can't remember if it was Elizabeth Moss or whoever the actress was. They got her to come in and Skype, basically, because Amber Heard said that Johnny Depp did stuff to her. And not only did she basically deny everything, she said, oh yeah, she fell downstairs and Johnny picked her up and carried her to her bed and made sure she was okay. And I'm like, you fucked. He now he's a real estate.
Probably fucked his lawyer, brother. I'm telling you right now, that lawyer was smoking, and he probably tapped that. The way they were hugging towards the court case, but that's the thing. Johnny, fucking Winona Ryder, who like everybody thought was gonna fucking drop dime on him, and she was like, no, he was a passionate, wonderful friend and lover. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, and even recently with what's been going on with Marilyn Manson, like Evan Rachel Wood has been accused of things, and then certain women have come out, but then it's been led to like basically the Amber Heard coerced it and all this, or not Amber Heard, sorry, Evan Rachel Wood. And I've been hoping that it's going to be a similar situation. It's a little more difficult from what I've gathered because they were trying to do a similar thing, but the judge threw it out right now. But it's kind of a similar thing. And I said, where is Dita Von Teese to come out and say that Manson did all these things, or I don't even heard Rose McGowan say anything regarding him, at least negatively.
Yeah.
So it's like I was thinking of women that maybe would not put up with the shit and basically say, you know what, I'm going to speak out about this.
Well, I mean, there's situations that this happens and it's real, like that wrestling cat who was part of the Rascals. I can't remember his name. But they were in NXT, and they basically fucking threw him off fucking TV and said, go fuck yourself, because his girlfriend who was in TNA, he beat the shit out of her. He did it a couple times.
Well, apparently there's been debate over that. Like there's been like people on like Wes Lee and his I believe his girlfriend or wife has basically said that he never did anything.
What do you know behind closed doors? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just like, and plus going back to the whole Amber Heard thing where she had the black eyes and all that, but the makeup and all that, I don't know, and how Kimberly has acted since then, like and all that, and she kind of got like blacklisted in a way. She announced her retirement and all that stuff because she was getting hate. After everything, because that one's a little more gray. Because
another one that's really gray is still staying in the wrestling fucking spectrum. Rich Swann and Sue Young.
Oh yeah, because that was what happened with that was why he got canned, right? It was funny because he got canned, and then let's not also forget Enzo Amore.
Oh, that was fucked up. They fucked him up dirty.
I know Enzo is not everybody's favorite cup of tea and all that, but I said when that whole thing happened and it turned out to be false, I was like, yeah, fucking. I still say his rap video that he made, cringy as all hell, but it's hilarious and all that to listen to. I think it was called Phoenix.
Yeah,
where he says, "Gripping my consensual penis." That's still like the line of the century to me was that one line. But it's and I did forget about it because I believe not only I believe they're still together, but I remember Sue Young had a kid recently.
That's why she's taking that time off. And Sue Young is an incredible wrestler, by the way. I don't know off topic, but her with the Undead Brides and all that, fucking love her. Rich Swann, for everything being said, is an incredible wrestler. But
and he was able to bounce back in Impact. So it was like, granted, Impact is a dead brand because it has no buzz. But hey, at least
whatever. Fuck you, man. Impact's awesome. I like.
Well, I'm referring to the buzz. Like I can't care as much about Impact regard because it's like I'm a big Deonna Purrazzo fan, or even I've come to really enjoy Steve Macklin. I don't know what they're to be did, but
I love the juggernaut Jordan Gray. Something about that muscly woman makes me.
I used to be, but she got roided up. I don't care what anybody says. She on that.
Shut your mouth. You shut your whore mouth. You wouldn't look quality if it slapped your cowboy hat off.
But yeah, regarding all that, it's like I'm trying to think of like similar wrestling incidents that happened because there was other like Marty Scurll.
We'll go back if we were talking about wrestling. Steve Austin and the Deborah incident.
Yeah, that was what, in 2002, right?
Yeah.
And
we don't know those situations, like, right? We don't know what goes on privately in the home. We don't know if that was provoked. Look, I will always say this, and some people will disagree with me. I've never said it was right to hit a woman. It's just, in my opinion, it's not. You just don't hit a woman. If you're defending yourself, but I'm also 6'5", 315 fucking pounds, right? So if I hit a woman, it's going to be different than say you're defending yourself and you slap somebody, right?
Yeah, like, it's like, like I'm always in the, whether it's defending yourself from physical thing or even if, let's say, someone has a knife on you. I don't care if you're a man, woman, or child. I'm going to find a way to disarm you from that knife.
And people didn't realize there's a difference between defending yourself and beating the shit out of a woman.
Yeah.
Or anybody for that matter. There was a football player. I was watching a video that got leaked. I can't remember his name, but he was a football player. Threw his wife while their child was laying on the couch into a fucking flat screen and just started wailing on her ass. I cannot remember who the football player was. It was on Twitter or some shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck? This is not cool. This is not, they put it. I've always felt like abusers and fucking pedophiles and people like that. There's a special place in hell for them, but two, their fucking punishment should be death by firing squad. And the person firing the gun should be the ones they abused. I don't have any respect for those kind of people. I just don't. I just look, unless you're defending yourself, there's no reason to fucking put your hands on somebody.
Agreed. And to go back to an even recent instance with the creator of Rick and Morty.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I understand the creator is kind of a wacko and some of the over the top and crossing the line humor he does. I'm not going to say that he's not a weird cat, but he recently first off, he got arrested for domestic violence and all that stuff, and they decided to fire him. Which I said, wait till everything goes to court and see where it goes, then you decide something. Because I said it's stupid how they do that with him, but like Ezra Miller or this, that, and the third. When there's repeated offenses with Ezra Miller. But they fired him, and then they decided, they're gonna drop the charges. And to go back when I was mentioning about them firing him, it's not that he was just the creator of the show, or the co-creator, he was the fucking voice of the two iconic characters of the show. It's like firing Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Basically, you're not just recasting a creator or one voice actor, you're recasting multiple and also the most important characters of the show. So when they did that, I was like, okay, I think they should have suspended him until they found out what happened, and then the charges got dropped. And as far as I've seen, there's been no intent to try to bring him back because, and I've said this, he should sue them for wrongful termination.
Well, look what happened to James Gunn.
Oh yeah. And I'm one of the biggest, and that's also another form. It's not just like sexual violence or even domestic violence. It's stuff you said on Twitter, especially. And mind you, this is stuff that is from decades ago.
That's what I'm glad you brought up. That's what I was waiting for you to say. Okay, so again, bring it back to cancel culture. I don't understand this ideology of you said something back 10, 15 years ago. Some people even 20 years ago. It was a different fucking world we lived in. It was different society. And as much as I think we've grown and evolved to be more accepting of things, we were trying to whitewash the past, all right? Shit happens in the past. There was a time, and I'll say the words here, that you could say the word retarded. And when you said the word retarded, it was like a slag off term to talk about somebody and call them stupid. right? I get it. Nowadays, you know, you can't use that word. And I agree with that. You should not call anybody that. But it is a word. It was used, and it was that. But there was a different time. Just like back in the day when you called somebody gay, it was an insult. And again, as we've evolved, great. I'm glad we've evolved to the place where we're at. We're more accepting and understanding of people's feelings. Great. But 15 years ago, we weren't those people. All right. But you can't hold somebody accountable for shit that happened 15 years ago. They didn't know that the world was going to change in the way it has. I'm glad it has changed. But instead of butchering and villainizing people for shit that they have no control over back then, it was just a social norm. Case in point, right? We'll go back to the 1960s, right? I love Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, right? I've told you in private and in public that Lucille Ball is the epitome of what I think a woman should be, right? I just love that her class, her strength, her ability, but she was so delicate.
Yeah.
Back in those days, it was common for men to beat their wives.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's right. But they didn't go back and butcher Desi Arnaz for that, right? It was the time period, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was even in our fucking television programs, right? Like fucking The Honeymooners. One of these days, Alice, pow, straight to the moon. He was joking about domestic violence, and we as a society laughed our asses off because we thought it was funny. Look at shows like fucking All in the Family. Fucking, what was his name? The dad. Oh. Anyway, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The first fucking episode, right? And again, this is not a slag off anybody. This is me repeating what was said. He comes home. The first episode I'd ever watched in that show, he comes home from a funeral and he said, wow, I didn't know so-and-so was a, and he said, well, he said Jewish without the ish.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was comedy back then. You know, like fucking watching, you can't watch Red Fox nowadays. They wouldn't make it. You couldn't watch a Red Fox. You couldn't watch Eddie Murphy Raw nowadays. You couldn't watch anything from the past nowadays. Even if back then we found it funny, Mel Brooks, it would never last in this day and age. It's fucked that, you know, look, I get it. We've become better people. We've become more accepting, but then we need to accept our past too. We've grown from that. But back then it was funny. Back then it was okay to have Paul Mooney say shit like, if you watch the old episode of the Chappelle Show, Negro Thomas, fucking hilarious. My favorite line, why do white people love Wayne Brady? Because he makes Brian Gumble look like Malcolm X. It was fucking funny. All right.
Yeah. And even to go with that, like a couple of years ago, and I ranted about this, they wanted to cancel Pepe Le Pew. You know, because they like nowadays they're like, oh, he's sexually harassing this cat and all this other stuff. I'm like thinking, how's like, it's just like, you know, like now you're reaching like shows like even like Johnny Bravo. I always wonder why I don't see it, like, because when HBO Max put a lot of the Cartoon Network shows from the 90s on there, one of the shows that was missing was with Cow and Chicken as well, but Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, but Cow and Chicken was fucked up. Let's be honest. That show was
yeah. Like Johnny Bravo was another one, and Johnny Bravo was, I was like, okay, I may kind of have a reason because I'm sure people would try to use that in their fight against everything because it's like, you know, him harassing women, all this other stuff. I'm like thinking it was a cartoon as a kid. Like it's a
cartoon. Fuck, I watched Ren and Stimpy as a kid.
Oh
Nickelodeon, not the MTV version, Nickelodeon, and that was a little fucking risque. All right, it's okay.
Rocko's Modern Life. I remember watching. I was watching. It was funny because I was trying to show my daughter some old shows from my childhood because she was just kind of like Teen Titans Go and stuff that I think are just for kids. And what I like about cartoons back in the day is you could watch them. You may not know all the adult innuendos, but when you grow up and you watch them again, they have a new meaning. They have a new life.
You said Teen Titans, right? You said Teen Titans. That's a perfect example, right? Nowadays, there's Teen Titans Go, and it's all cartoony and shit, right? The original Teen Titans, right? The original Robin and Slade and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Dealt with real fucking adult themes such as death and life.
PTSD.
Like Tara was all fucked up in the head because of her past. Slade, father and parent abandonment, all kinds of shit was dealt with in that show. You can't do that now, apparently, because it's weird. We had a time when we were mature enough that we could handle it, but it goes back to the old shtick that when I was growing up, we drank out the fucking hose, right? The generation before me had fucking lawn darts. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's a blast.
Yeah. Well, even to go back to James Gunn for a moment, like he's one of the examples that the cancel culture kind of worked out for him, because when he got fired from Disney over that, and then he had a group of people in the Guardians cast that backed him up and said they would not come back, because I've said this, Batista owes his career to James Gunn.
Absolutely.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, Batista wouldn't be a household name in Hollywood if it wasn't for James Gunn. You wouldn't have seen him in like the Knives Out sequel or Spectre or all the other Blade Runner, or even Dune, So I understand like a lot of people are like, yeah, we want him back because, but during that period, he got Warner Bros. Took him in. He did the Suicide Squad, and then while he was doing that, he got brought back into Disney. But during his time in Warner Bros., they basically gave him the keys to the castle in DC, and now he's going to be manning the next lineup of DC movies going in the next couple of years, if not the next decade.
Well, and that was good for him, but it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, right? It's stupid at the end of the day, but it's like that's like one of the only probably the rare examples of like when cancel culture like somewhat benefited off of that. I just
remember what I was going to talk about. I love The Mandalorian, right? I love Disney shit. Fucking Gina Carano, because she had an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a conservative, right? I voted for. I'm about to lose a lot of fucking fans here. You ready for this? I voted for Trump. I did. I liked his policies. I liked the guy as well.
And even with me, I will openly say that I didn't vote myself, but I said between him and Hillary, the lesser of two evils, I looked at Trump.
So, but that being said, I'm allowed to have that opinion. It doesn't make me a fucking the devil. Trump is not my fucking messiah, all right? Yeah. I just like his policies, but I can't say that in open fucking public, or I'm. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was trying to tell you in another fucking video we talked about. I got called Uncle Juan, which is a play off the fucking comment Uncle Tom, because I'm a Hispanic conservative. I don't kiss anybody's ass. I'm sorry. I like my conservative ideals, all right? I used to be a Democrat, and I used to be a fucking liberal, and I used to be a fucking libertarian for a little while there. But then I started leaning right. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. But you can't say that in open fucking public, or you're going to get stoned. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and even with a few people that I talk to, like, even if they're not like big Trump supporters, I've openly told them, I said, we were better off when Trump was president than when Biden was president, primarily because we're in this recession, like basically a recession, the inflation, all this other stuff. And I said, one thing I still stand by during the whole pandemic, because Trump was in office during that period, during the worst part of the pandemic. Biden came in right when the pandemic was kind of starting to slow down. But Trump took care of a lot of us with the stimulus and everything.
But you can't say that, right?
I know, right?
You're super liberal. Let's be real. You and I've talked about it. Your ideals more lean to the liberal concepts. Great, cool. You and I can have a civil conversation about that. Great, it's fucking awesome. But it's just, there was a time when we were built as a society, and what made us strong is the sharing of ideas. It was the sharing of philosophies, and then ultimately coming away with your side of that philosophy being bettered and evolving through the ideas of my side, and vice versa. And now we are so fucking closed door and pigeon-toed that if you think anything outside of the norm, if you think outside of the box in any way, you're a piece of garbage, you're a terrorist, you're all these horrible fucking things, and it's not fucking fair. It's not right. I want to continue to exchange ideas. I want to have think tanks. I want to be able to sit down and talk about our ideas and hope that we can come up with a solution for real world problems. But you can't, because if you don't, you're a racist, you're a pedophile, you're an abuser, And that's where people go. It's not that you've done anything wrong, but because you don't see their side of things and you don't want to join their fucking mirage of fucking idiocy or whatever it may be, if you don't want to fucking fall in line and be another drone because you want to be free thinking, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, and it's just like, I still remember, I think after Trump got elected, remember these group of people attacked this old man who was caught on camera for voting for Trump. And it's like it got to the point where, you know, people want to go at Trump for the whole Capitol thing, but there was just as bad people on the other side who, before even the Capitol happened, that were just attacking people for being, and it could go from white, black, Mexican, whatever. It didn't matter what race. It was like, if you vote for Trump, you're basically to some people, you didn't deserve to be on this earth. But I'll ask a question to everybody, and that will be watching the premiere. Like, do you honestly think it, like, by the two people that we had at that time, Trump and Hillary, do you honestly think we would have been better off with Hillary? Because again, I usually do these behind the scenes. They send for premiere, so there's a chat, so they could voice their opinion in the chat. Like, tell me, do you think we would have been better off with Hillary? Like, and if you say yes, explain why.
Even beyond that, right? Do you think that, you know, you could have had a choice? I mean, like, is it okay to have it? Are y'all okay with having fucking choices? Or do you accept that whatever the fucking majority picks, you have to be okay with? Case in point, right now, like the shit we were just talking about that we dealt with yesterday, which would have been a week ago today, if in this recording, in the premiere. Do you have to go with the fucking norm? Do you have to go off and fight with other people for fucking stupid reasons? Or would you like to do something different? Huh? Would you like to be a little bit outside the box and have a conversation with some people who actually care about your ideas and want to learn?
And to go back and to go to that, the idea of canceling, for example, on the internet, especially if you are not it would be different if you were like a big time YouTuber with like millions upon millions of subscribers, this, that, and the third, like Shane Dawson or even an Nissan. I was actually having a conversation with a coworker because we were talking about, I was actually telling her about my about the podcast and talk about this topic of conversation. So we were talking about Shane Dawson and Onision. But like everyday YouTubers like you and I, or even a lot of people that are watching this right now, are going to are not like if someone says you're canceled, even if it's like 5 people or 10 people, that's not like, you're not losing. Like, worst thing you're going to lose if you're like a low tier YouTuber is subscribers possibly. But besides that, you're not going to, like, you don't have sponsorships. You're not making money off of this. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. So what is the term cancel to someone who is not like that big of a deal to the outside world? Like,
it means nothing. Other than destroying their hobby, it means nothing.
Yeah, because that's all. Because the only way that someone is legit going to be canceled on this internet is really by the person themselves. The only way they're going to, like they say, get off the internet, you're canceled, get the fuck out of here. The only ways that you're going to be able to succeed in that mission is A, if that person decides not to do YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, what have you. That's option A. Option B is, let's say they're living with their parents and becoming a hassle, so their parents just tell them, hey, cut off the internet, or they're cut off the, or option C, they don't have internet. But those are like the only ways that legit somebody could actually be in our circle could legitimately be canceled.
Well, any fucking mediocre ass tiny little fucking YouTuber, yeah, that's fine. But if we're talking about real big fucking YouTubers like an Onision, like a fucking who's a Klein, he got canceled too, right?
Who?
The Klein brothers.
Yeah.
Fucking Leafy got canceled like a motherfucker.
I know they were trying to do that to the Paul brothers after the whole situation with the suicide forest, but
yeah, and the thing is this though, like, you have to walk on eggshells to fucking be and not that you and I are in any way, shape, or form trying to be famous, right? We're just two fucking idiots who like to talk for an hour. But what I'm saying is, like, when you get to that fucking level, I couldn't do it. I could not fucking do it because I'm not one who's going to walk on eggshells. You know what? Like when God forbid, we got to a point like that, and I got to now, because the society dictates I have to be vegan, I'm going to say, go fuck yourself. I'll kill my own fucking cow. I'm going to make a burger, and I'm going to walk down Main Street eating that motherfucker, drinking a fucking beer, doing what the fuck I want, because you're not going to tell me what to do. As long as I'm not breaking any fucking laws, I can have a fucking opinion. I can fucking speak that opinion. If you don't like it, eat a fucking dick. I don't care. Like, I don't understand how people are so afraid of imaginary consequences. Oh, you're going to cancel me. Okay, great. I busted my ass to get here because people respected my opinion. I'm just saying, if we got to a point where there was some fucking fame and notoriety, I got to this point because I was myself. I got to this point because I was open and honest about who I am. If you don't like me for who I am, change the fucking channel. As long as I am not violating anybody's rights, privileges, taking away their freedoms, or doing anything, you have no right to tell me shit. All you have the right to do is turn off the motherfucking TV and not say shit. That's it. You can't tell me what to fucking do. I'm a grown-ass fucking man. And if more people had that philosophy, I think we'd be in a little more better shape than we're at now.
Yeah, and to go back to Logan Paul for a moment before I get into the next part of what I was going to say, regarding Paul, like of course he's been in WWE over the last year or so,
killing it, by the way.
Huh?
And killing it, by the way.
Yeah, and I've said this, even though like some of his things I'm not the biggest fan of, but as far as him as a performer, he's fucking great. He, like, every match he's been in has been he's had those highlight reel moments. I was at the Royal Rumble at the Alamo Dome watching him and Ricochet do that dual dive onto each other from opposite ends of the ring, you know. And even though I'm a big CM Punk fan, I'll say this: he does a better buckshot lariat than CM Punk did. Like, again, I'm also like going on the Punk thing. I'm still a big Punk fan. I'm excited for his return. I know some people aren't, and I know and I understand from the point of view, but I say Punk is still one of the last legit stars that's still left in this industry, because they don't, like, especially with WWE, they don't want to build a stars. But something else I was going to add is the idea of, you know, I will be upfront. I could still watch stuff with certain people and enjoy them as a performer, but as a filmmaker or a actor, musician, whatever, I still think my opinions of them. Like, I'm probably the minority here, but I still believe Michael Jackson's a pedophile. That's just, but I'm not going to go and continuously say it and things. I still listen to his music. Same with R. Kelly. Roman Polanski.
I have to disagree. Okay, so this is a perfect conversation to be had.
Yeah.
There was a long time that I thought that, you know, there was something to that. But then if you look at Michael Jackson's past, you look at Joe Jackson and everything he put those kids through, the fact that allegedly Joe raped the daughters and Joe beat the shit out of the sons and Joe fucking made them grow up really fast. I looked at Michael Jackson as someone who was trying to recapture his youth because he never got to be a child. Look at what Corey Feldman said, that Michael Jackson never touched him. He never touched anybody. He was just trying to be their friend because he didn't know what it was to be a child. He was forced to be an adult at such a young age that, yeah, he was fucked in the head. Made great music. He truly was the king of pop. He didn't make just music. He made short films. He did amazing things. Music would not be where it is if it wasn't for Michael Jackson. Maybe people disagree with my stance. I don't think he was a pedophile. I think more people will be on your side because a lot of people think he did do it. But I just, in my gut, I don't believe it. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. That's the thing I like about it, is that, like, when we have the disagreements and all that, and we could actually talk like adults. I'd be like, oh, then I'll agree with your opinion.
Fuck you, Charlie. I'm canceling you.
Yeah, I'm canceling you first, motherfucker. But like Roman Polanski, someone that it was, you know, he fucking fled. Like, you know, I'm someone who still likes a lot of his movies, even though, again, we all know what him, or even Woody Allen. Another one.
Spielberg fucking, and say what you want. He fucking diddled that little girl and killed her. Like, and they don't talk about that. The chick from not The Exorcist. Anyway, it's that
Linda
girl.
Blair? No, Linda Blair's still alive.
No, not her. I'm talking about the
Poltergeist?
one. Yes.
Oh, the one who says they're here.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was like, I know what.
I think Steven Spielberg's a piece of garbage. Made wonderful movies, won't deny that, but he's a piece of garbage. That's just my opinion. And now he's trying to jump back into the world of and try to go against woke culture. This was all you were about, dickhead. You fucking promoted woke culture, and you went in and you removed shit from Star Wars, and you removed shit from all these fucking.
That was Lucas. That was Lucas.
I'm not Lucas. Somebody else. It was another movie. But he removed fucking guns and cigarettes and shit from stuff from old movies because he thought, oh yeah, we should do this, and because it's we're trying to. No, you fucked up the classic movies. Perfect example. Would you ruin Casablanca if you took out the fucking last line? He didn't bail on her.
I'm actually curious because I actually got the 4K of Casablanca. I'm curious to watch that again and see if the scene is still there, because that goes into, like, we've talked about this in the first episode of why I love collecting physical media. Is if something were to happen and they change something from a scene, but I have the movie from however many years prior, like, they can never change that fucking scene with me because it's already there.
What about Red? Was it Red? Anyway, sorry, the Gone with the Wind. Who was the husband's name?
Yeah.
When he said, how would you change? Why would you change the movie? When he said, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Killer fucking line. A man standing up for himself against a fucking, let's just be real, she was a fucking prima donna, pain in the fucking ass. Scarlett O'Hara was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But it was a strong movement for a man. Oh no, we can't have that. He's degrading women. We're going to have to take that out. He's going to stay together with her. That's just going to have to change that.
And this is something that I want to add to that because it kind of goes with this is the whole, especially the last 10 decade or so, the whole equality agenda. I sometimes don't feel it's an equality agenda. I think it's basically the other, women trying to be in the man's position from decades past. I don't feel that same because, a lot of people going for equality and all that, but I never truly see that whole thing. You say let's random stuff. You're friends with someone or you work with someone and you say something that doesn't mean a damn. Or actually, I'll give a perfect example. You just tell a girl she looks nice today. Nothing.
Going to HR, Charlie.
Huh?
We're going to
HR.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying though. It's like a simple "you look nice today." Not even, and not all women are like this, but what do you call it? You say that, and they take it as a sexual advancement. One of the reasons
that's the thing we're all.
Go ahead.
And I'm about to fucking again piss more people off by saying this. There was a time when I thought the world needed feminists to fight for women and this and that. Where the fuck are the feminists now? When fucking Leah Thomas can win every fucking record and smash it. Where's your cancel culture on that? Women are getting kicked out of their own sports. I'm not trying to hate on anybody who's transgendered. I'm not trying to do that. But what I'm saying is, when are we going to start fucking making it fair for women to be able to do sports? Where's your cancel culture there? Instead, you're trying to cancel women. I don't get that. Where are the feminists that fought for all that shit then? But no, they're trying to cancel women because they would rather a guy who placed 108th in swimming as a man transitions to a woman and now he's the best in the world. I don't get it. South Park did a wonderful job of depicting this when they showed a strong woman in the strong woman games. And they had that guy who looked like Macho Man who literally had only transitioned for 2 weeks come in and beat the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, and to go back on that, it's with not just that, but it's the HR thing. I've openly said this. I preferably like to date older women, and more so nowadays. It's because most of the women that I've dated that are older, whether it's 10, 20 years older, is that they're blunt. They don't put up with shit, and they will let you know. They're not going to be like, and then call 911 5 minutes later and say, oh, yeah, he's harassing me or whatnot.
Again, it's a cultural difference. It's fucking, again, it's not to be I know we always go back to women with you because you're a whore, but
yeah.
But again, it's a cultural fucking difference. Okay, so I was raised that you have to start at the bottom, right? You work your way up the top. You start working at a fucking fast food joint or whatever. You don't stay there. You just use that as a springboard to get to your next step. And my generation fucked this new generation, and I admit it. My generation fucked them because we taught my generation, not so much me because I'm a fucking dickhead, but my generation in general basically told kids, you can be anything you want. You deserve everything. Everyone deserves a fucking trophy. La la la.
Yeah, I was just about to say, because there's the Kid Rock song, going back to kind of Kid Rock from the beginning, the song "Don't Tell Me How to Live," which is basically he uses the guitar riffs and the singer and the chorus of an actual song called "Don't Tell Me How to Live" by Monster Truck. Great song, but he one of the lines he says in the song, he says, years ago we all thought it was a joke. See that every kid got a motherfucking trophy. He says, but this yo homies a situation, nation of pussies is our next generation. I've said this, especially like in places I've worked at, especially I think, and this could be old man me being like from the millennial period where I've said the worst generation I have seen is Gen Z, I believe, right? And I usually now call it the whiny generation because I feel that that's the one that whines about everything.
Well, see, but that's the thing. Like, I am a little older than you.
Yeah.
And so I literally ride on the cusp of Gen X. I'm right there at Gen X. And we thought you motherfuckers were the worst thing that came out of fucking your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all were whiny, bitchy little shits. You didn't want to do anything with your lives. But I didn't think it could get worse until these new motherfuckers and everything's got to get canceled. And you know what makes it worse? What makes cancel culture so much worse is that these little fucking turds, these little shits, have convinced old fucking politicians that let's get behind this new generation. I don't want to lose my spot in fucking Congress, so let me fucking suck their dicks and asses and shit. So we have a generation of old fogies who know no better than to kiss the ass of Gen fucking Y, Z, X, whatever the fuck it is. And they've made life fucking miserable for the rest of us. You can't do anything. You can't say anything. You can't fucking, if you wipe your ass with the wrong kind of toilet paper, you're a Nazi. It's fucking stupid.
Exactly. And that's like, it's just stupid with and I feel that, like, for example, I feel like the next generation is going to be even worse than the generation before. And it's just, and like you could blame a lot of different things from whether it's the internet, it's lack of parenting, what have you.
It's lack of ass whooping. Do you know what? That's the one constant fucking thing that I've found that a lot of these kids don't have is their parents didn't beat their ass. You know what my mom and dad did when I was trying to be a smart ass? They popped a fucking leather belt out and popped my ass, and I sure learned how to respect them then.
Oh no, Dad! You can't say that. That's child abuse. They can take that DPS.
You can only see my face right now. You can see me flipping off the fucking camera.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Like, okay, like. I'll throw an example without going too much into detail. Like when with my daughter, I'll throw this out there. I could not I was told by the mother, and it's not dig right. This is me being honest. I was told that I could do any discipline, and I say this, and this is not dig or anything. But I said no wonder why I was the favorite because I was the fun dad. I wasn't the one to be like spanking or anything like that. And so I was told by the woman. Now I don't know if it would have been different if she was like a boy, my daughter or whatnot, but I couldn't do anything. So therefore I was like, okay, well, I'll just be the fun dad. And that's probably why I had such a good relationship because I wasn't the person to be like I tried to tell right from wrong, but it was like, I had that fine line of what I could do. But I'm not going to go like what you said with the belt and all that. But I couldn't even do anything.
Look, I was in a fucked up situation. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, trust me. My grandfather, ex-military, he was that same way with me. So I get that from that point of view. But
I'll put it this way because I'm glad that we only do 45 minutes to like an hour on these, because I'll get fucking heated. But I'll say this, and I'll let you close it how you want. But cancel culture is not the fault of the generation that is coming from. In all honesty, in my opinion, it is the fault of the fucking parents that have raised these kids to be soft. And if you're a parent out there, I'm not here to judge you. You have been given the greatest gift anybody could ever have. You've been given the gift of a life of a child to mold and motivate and move into the next generation. And as much as you want to love that child, you're not raising your fucking best friend. You're raising a child. And you should prepare that child for the hard truths of this world, that it's not easy, that you need to work for everything you have. And with enough hard work and a little bit of luck, you can achieve great things. Not everybody can be the president. Not everybody can be movie stars. I'm sorry, some of your kids are going to be ugly as shit. They're not going to be able to be movie stars. Maybe horror movies. We'll go figure. But at the end of the day, without you motivating them the right way, and I'm trying to be funny here, throw a little shtick on there, but it's your responsibility to set these kids on the path to success. And you're doing no one, especially your kids, no favors by trying to fucking woke them up. Woke means broke. And you're slowly going to realize that as the pendulum switches, because it always does. I'm a man who's almost 40 years old, and I've watched as the pendulum has gone left and right all of my life. It's coming back to the right, if you haven't realized, real soon. And your little woke shits that you fucking put out there in the world are about to get a real hard dose of reality. Just saying. All right, Charlie, do your thing.
Oh yes, and if you think anything we said was controversial this week, well, wait till you see what happens when a God-fearer man befriends the devil, or an atheist in this category. But yeah. Yes. That is a tease for the next episode. Also the fact that Mr. Donnie Darko Dan over here likes to keep me shirtless in some of the thumbnails.
You want me to let him know about what's coming up?
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, as long as Charlie sticks to his guns and we keep doing this and he's committed, next week's episode will be the last episode of the current Outcast.
Yes.
Let you mull on that for a little bit.
Yes. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for continuing to support the show in its fifth week. And make sure, of course, each of the last couple episodes will be premiering on Spotify every Monday. So the Friday that these premiere, usually the episode before that premieres on the Monday after. Like, for example, episode 4 will be when this show premieres on Friday. By the time you're watching this, Monday will be when episode 4 comes on Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. But the first 3 episodes at the time you're listening to this are on Spotify right now. So plenty of places where you can check this out, not just on the YouTube. But with that, this has been the House of Chayton and Mr. Donnie Darko Dan here. And until next time, we bid you adieu. Ta-ta for now.